Ever feel like your brain is secretly plotting against you? Like it's just sitting up there in your skull, throwing dark thoughts at you like it's bored and wants drama? You're not alone. We all get trapped in those mental doom spirals, replaying past mistakes, imagining worst-case scenarios, or overthinking stuff that doesn't even exist yet. It's like our minds have a talent for turning minor problems into full-blown horror movies. And the worst part? Sometimes it feels normal. But here's the wild truth. You're not broken. Your brain's not evil. It's just running outdated software, leftover survival coding from a time when spotting a tiger in the bushes meant life or death. Now it's scanning your inbox the same way it used to scan the jungle. That negativity you feel? That anxiety loop? It's your brain thinking it's protecting you. Except now, instead of saber-toothed cats, it's your ex's Instagram story or that one text you sent at 2 a.m. The good news? You can reprogram it. You can actually train your mind to stop spiraling and start focusing on the present, on what's real. It's not magic. It's not therapy jargon. It's brain hacking for modern life. So if you're tired of overthinking every text, replaying every awkward moment from 8th grade, or getting stuck in a mental loop at 3 a.m. like your thoughts are on Netflix autoplay, buckle up. Because once you understand how your brain really works, you can finally stop being its victim and start being its boss. But before we dive deeper into the fascinating journey, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Your brain is not built to make you happy. It's built to keep you alive, even if that means constantly screaming, danger, when there's literally nothing around but a group chat and some cold pizza. See, your brain has something called negativity bias. It means it loves to obsess over problems, threats, and what might go wrong. It's like your brain's a paranoid security guard who's had too much coffee, always scanning for anything that might go sideways just in case. And here's where it gets sneaky. Every time you think a negative thought, like what if I mess up? Or they probably hate me, your brain takes note. It thinks, ah yes, a threat. Let me highlight that and save it for later. Then it does you the favor of playing it on loop. Again, and again, and again. Before you know it, you're stuck in a mental autoplay. One awkward conversation triggers memories of 10 more. One anxious thought about your future drags up every past failure you've ever had. It's like falling down a rabbit hole of worst-case scenarios, and your brain's like, oh, let's click the next video. Only instead of cat videos, it's anxiety, guilt, and imaginary disasters. This is why positive thinking feels so fake sometimes. Your brain isn't naturally built for good vibes. It's built to remember the time you got embarrassed in middle school, just in case something like that ever happens again. But here's the plot twist. You're not doomed. You can actually mess with the system. You can catch your brain mid-spiral and say, nope, we're not watching this rerun today. You can learn how to break the loop and replace that mental junk with something that actually helps you grow. Because if your mind is constantly playing tricks on you, the real question is, can you trick it back? Ever had a random thought pop into your head like, what if I just screamed in this quiet room? Or, what if my friends secretly hate me and they're all faking it? Yeah, those brain glitches? That's your mind being weird, but normal weird. These are called intrusive thoughts, and they don't mean you're broken. They mean your brain's bored or stressed or just in one of those moods. And the problem isn't having the thought. The problem is letting it spiral into a full-blown mental meltdown. So how do you stop it? You hijack it. Interrupt the nonsense before it becomes your whole personality for the day. First up, thought labeling. Sounds fancy, but it's super simple. When a thought like, I'm going to fail that job interview pops up, don't argue with it, just label it. Ah, that's anxiety. That's it. You're putting a name tag on the noise. It takes the power away. It's not you, it's just a visitor. Second, the rubber band snap. Yep, the classic therapy trick. You wear a rubber band on your wrist, and when your brain starts pulling its usual stunt, snap. That tiny sting tells your brain, hey, stop it. It's like slapping a mosquito before it bites you. Third, the silly voice method. This one's hilarious, and it works. Take that horrible thought and repeat it in a ridiculous voice. Imagine Gollum from Lord of the Rings whispering, you're not good enough. Or SpongeBob yelling, everyone's judging you. Suddenly it's a joke, not a threat. And your brain can't take it seriously anymore. Here's the key, you're not trying to erase the thought. You're just trying to interrupt the loop. Give your brain a pattern break, a chance to snap out of autopilot. Think of it like this, your thoughts are on a moving train. You don't have to jump off, but you can pull the emergency brake before it crashes into another sleepless night. Still, breaking the pattern is just step one. You've got to give your mind something better to chew on. Your brain is basically a dopamine junkie. It loves rewards. And if you don't give it something good to chew on, it'll go digging for something, anything, even if that means replaying a breakup from 3 years ago at 2 a.m. like it's some emotional Netflix special. That's how negative thought loops get started. Your brain's bored or stressed, and instead of grabbing a healthy snack, it eats garbage thoughts. Over and over and over. Because guess what? Even stress gives it a little dopamine hit. Not the good kind, but enough to keep the loop going. So what do? We give your brain better snacks. Little wins. Tiny hits of dopamine that don't wreck your mental health. First up, breathwork. Not some mystical monk stuff, just deep, slow breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Do that a few times and your body goes, "Oh, we're not dying?" Cool. Then there's quick exercise. I'm not talking gym selfies or 100 push-ups. Literally 30 seconds of jumping jacks, running in place, or dancing like an idiot to a song you love. It shocks your system, in a good way. Sunlight is another secret weapon. Step outside. Just 5 minutes. Your eyes pick up natural light, your brain gets happy signals, and boom, you're less of a gremlin. And don't laugh, cold water splash. Yes, actually splash cold water on your face like you're in a dramatic movie scene. It triggers your dive reflex and helps calm your nervous system. It's weirdly powerful. Like nature's slap in the face. And for those moments when your brain's screaming louder than your group chat, use the 5-4-3-2-1 method. It's a grounding trick. Name 5 things you can see. 4 things you can touch. 3 things you can hear. 2 things you can smell. 1 thing you can taste. Suddenly you're not in your head, you're back in your body. Back in the now. So yeah, your brain craves stimulation. That's not a flaw, it's an opportunity. Feed it something better and it'll start rewiring itself naturally. Think of it like retraining a dog that keeps barking at the mailman. Okay, so you've disrupted the loop and given your brain something better. But now comes the shadow war. Ever tried to push down a bad feeling so hard only for it to pop back up like, "Hey, remember me?" Yeah, that's not your brain glitching. That's your shadow knocking on the door. Carl Jung, this brilliant and kind of spooky psychologist, came up with the idea of the shadow self. Basically, it's all the parts of you that you try to ignore, your anger, jealousy, fear, guilt, all the bad emotions society tells you to hide. But here's the twist. The more you ignore them, the louder they get. Those recurring negative thoughts? They're not random. They're repressed truths that your mind keeps sending back like unread emails. If you keep ghosting them, they don't go away, they throw a tantrum. That's why you keep getting triggered by the same stuff. It's your shadow going, "Ahem, are we gonna talk about this or what?" Let's talk about Jess. Jess was all about positivity, vision boards, affirmations, gratitude journals. She plastered on a smile and told herself every day, "It's all good." Except it wasn't. Inside, Jess was angry, exhausted. She hated her job, felt stuck in her relationship, and hadn't cried in years because she thought it made her weak. One day, while stuck in traffic, she completely lost it over a spilled coffee. What? Because she'd been stuffing her truth down for so long, even a latte became the final straw. That's what happens when we try to positive vibes only our way through life. It backfires. The shadow doesn't disappear, it waits and then it explodes. But here's the empowering part. Facing your shadow doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're human. It means you're ready to stop lying to yourself. To stop pretending everything's fine when it's clearly not. So, what if instead of staying positive, we got brutally real? What if I told you your negative thoughts aren't trying to ruin your life, they're trying to teach you something? I know, sounds crazy. But here's the truth, negative thoughts aren't your enemy. They're data. Seriously, every time your brain says, "You suck," it's not a death sentence. It's an invitation. Your job isn't to run from it. Your job is to grab a flashlight and say, "Okay, let's look at this mess." There's this method called The Work by Byron Katie, and it's basically like putting your thoughts on trial. You take a negative belief, like, "I'm not good enough," and ask 4 questions. Is it true? Can you absolutely know it's true? How do you react when you believe that thought? Who would you be without it? Sounds simple, but when you actually do it, mind blown. Suddenly you're not at the mercy of your brain's mean girl comments, you're calling them out. You can also try journaling prompts that flip the script. Instead of writing, "I'm a failure," ask, "What is this thought trying to protect me from? What would I say to a friend who thought this? What would make me feel more prepared, more confident, or more me?" Here's a spicy example. "I'm not good enough." Good. What would make me better? That's not self-hate. That's self-coaching. Another one. "No one likes me." Sweet. Less people to disappoint. Kidding? Kind of. But actually, what proof do you have of that? Is that thought helping or hurting? What would you believe if you didn't carry it around like a toxic backpack? This is thought alchemy. It's not pretending bad thoughts don't exist. It's turning them into fuel. Turning I can't into why not. Turning I'm scared into good. That means I care. Most people stop when the negative thought hits. They shut down, scroll, distract, escape. Now here's where most people quit. But this is the secret sauce. Let's be real, motivation is a scam. One day you're fired up and ready to change your life. The next day you're eating cereal out of a mug and wondering if it's too early to nap. Motivation is unreliable, like Wi-Fi at a hotel. So forget motivation. What you need is a system. A system doesn't care if you feel inspired. It just runs. Every single day. That's where habit stacking comes in. Straight out of Atomic Habits. The idea is to take something you already do and stack a tiny new habit on top of it. Example, every morning when you brush your teeth, tell yourself one thing you're proud of. Boom, mindset shift, no extra effort. Another example, when you drink your coffee, throw on a 5-minute podcast. Something positive. Something brain foodish. That's part of your new mind diet. Because if you're feeding your brain nothing but doom scrolling and TikToks of people pretending to be therapists, don't be surprised when it crashes like a Windows 95 laptop. Walking. Great. Add walking thoughts. No music, no podcast, just your own mind wandering in a good way. Let yourself process. Daydream. Think like a human again, not a phone. And here's a cheat code you'll love, the 2-minute rule. If your brain is spiraling, commit to doing anything that interrupts the cycle for just 2 minutes. Stretch. Chug water. Breathe deeply. Pet a dog. Do jumping jacks in your living room while making weird noises. Whatever works. The trick is momentum. Even a small action can shift your mental state. And once you've done 2 minutes, you usually end up doing more. You don't need a full personality makeover. You just need to start. So yeah, motivation is cool when it shows up. But it's like that one friend who always cancels last minute. Systems, on the other hand, they show up even when you're tired, stressed, or questioning your whole existence. You've learned how to flip the mental switch. But what about those dark days that just won't go away? Some days don't just feel off. They feel like the universe is personally out to wreck you. You wake up, and before your feet even hit the floor, your mind's already like, wanna panic now or later? That's when you need your break glass in case of emergency tools. No fluff. No pretending everything's okay. Just real stuff that pulls you out when your brain's in meltdown mode. First, the breath ladder. It's so simple your brain will roll its eyes, but it works. Inhale for 4 seconds. Hold it for 4. Exhale for 6. Do that 5 times. It tells your nervous system, we're not dying. Chill. And your body actually listens. Magic? No, just biology. Second tool, gratitude flash fire. Stop what you're doing and name 3 things you're grateful for. Out loud if you can. Doesn't have to be deep. My dog's face. Coffee. The fact that pants are optional when working from home. Boom. Your brain has to focus on something real instead of imaginary disaster zones. Third, call your truth friend. Everyone needs that one person who doesn't sugarcoat anything. The one who'll go, okay, stop spiraling. You haven't eaten today. Start there. Not the friend who tells you, you're amazing, don't worry. You want the one who says, take a shower and go outside. Now. That's love. Let me tell you something personal. There was a day I sat on the kitchen floor, heart racing, brain buzzing, everything felt too much. I didn't know what I was even panicking about. Life, work, just existing? No idea. I was spiraling hard. But then I remembered the breath ladder. Did it? Called my truth friend. Then sat down and wrote a list of what didn't suck. That list saved my night. Not my life, my night. And sometimes saving the night is enough. Because you don't always need a life-changing breakthrough. Sometimes you just need a mental fire extinguisher. So what's the real secret to staying sane in a world that feels like it's falling apart? What if you're not broken? What if your brain isn't a problem to fix, but a tool you never got taught how to use? Most of us walk around thinking, what's wrong with me? When really nothing's wrong. You're just using an untrained mind in a world designed to overstimulate it. It's like trying to drive a Ferrari with 0 driving lessons, on a roller coaster. Negative thoughts? Not evil. Just data. Panic? Not weakness. Just an alarm your brain doesn't know how to shut off yet. Overthinking? You guessed it, not a flaw. Just a muscle being used the wrong way. You're not too emotional, too dramatic, or too sensitive. You're just someone who was never taught how to sit with a thought, question it, and guide it like a freaking mental ninja. And now, Now you're learning. You're training. You're leveling up. Because the truth is, you're not overthinking. You're under training. And that changes everything. It means you don't have to fix yourself. You just have to practice. You don't need to shut your thoughts off. You need to steer them. Like a GPS that sometimes gets stuck rerouting but still gets you there eventually. And yeah, some days will still suck. That's life. But now, instead of being steamrolled by your mind, you'll know how to stand up and say, "Not today, brain. Not today." I'll leave you with this quote from Viktor Frankl. Guy survived a literal concentration camp and still found a way to grow. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. You don't have to be fearless, just self-aware, just curious, just willing to try. And that makes you powerful. If this hit you where it hurts, in a good way, tap that like button. Not for the algorithm. Not for me. Do it for you. To tell your future self, I'm done with the BS. I'm done letting my own mind drag me around like a rag doll. If something in this video made you pause, made you laugh, or made you go, "Wait, that's literally me," then don't just scroll away. Drop your favorite coping tactic in the comments. Seriously. Whether it's screaming into a pillow, power walking to angry music, or eating cereal straight from the box, share it. You never know who might need that exact trick at 3 a.m. And if you've made it this far, just know this, you're already doing better than you think. Most people avoid their thoughts like taxes. You showed up. You faced the chaos. That's growth. That's gangster. So yeah, life gets messy. Your brain gets loud. Some days you'll crush it. Other days you'll spiral and cry into your hoodie. That's okay. Just remember this. Your thoughts don't own you unless you hand them the keys. So maybe stop handing them the keys.